In this module, we'll look at accessing Jira. We'll talk about administration, roles, and product access. Here, we'll discuss a user's access to the Jira products family. This means Jira Software, Jira Service Management, and Jira Work Management. To begin, we'll cover how users are granted access to the products in a site. To manage product access, you need to be an organization administrator. As an organization administrator, you can go to admin.atlassian.com to view and access all the sites you have. From here, you can directly access site administration pages to manage users and groups, view your site bill, and grant product access to groups. To manage users and groups, you also need to be an organization administrator, as users are managed globally at the organization level. Users are provisioned product access at the site level. Groups are one way of determining what users can do in Atlassian Cloud. There are several groups that are already set up for you. Groups let users do different things. A user's group membership can give a user access to products, control what a user can do within products, or grant administrator privileges. For example, being in the Jira Admins group lets you, by default, configure Jira settings. Note that in the Enhanced User Permission experience in the Atlassian Admin Hub, groups are appended with their site name. For example, Jira Admins Acme UK. In this skill builder, we will refer to the groups without their site name, unless they need to be called out. Here are the administrator groups you'll see by default after creating a new site. One group, which is called Site Admins, contains all organization administrators. These users are mapped to both the user and product admin product roles of all products in your site. This means that they can both use all features of the product and administer all products in the site. The Jira Admins group, on the other hand, is meant for users who only administer Jira. However, this group doesn't grant access to use the features of the Jira products, so they don't count towards your subscription. Without product access, Jira administrators cannot see project content, such as issues. Some sites may want to restrict Jira administrators so they don't use up a license seat, but they can administer Jira. If you want administrators to see content, add them to a group that has access or grant them the product user role. Then they'll count towards your subscription. The groups that you have on a new site depend on the products you subscribe to. Each Atlassian product has a group associated with it that provides access to the features of that product. If a user is given access to a product, they will automatically be placed in the default access group for that product. The default access groups are Jira Software users for Jira Software, Jira Service Management users for Jira Service Management, Jira Work Management users for Jira Work Management. When you subscribe to Jira Software or Jira Service Management, you automatically get all the features of Jira Work Management, but you don't see the Jira Work Management users group. This group is only created if you explicitly subscribe to Jira Work Management. For example, if that is the only Jira product you subscribe to. Out of the box, the default access groups are set up for each product. In this example, on the Products Access page, you see that the Jira Software Users Acme USA group is the default access group for Jira Software. If you add a user to Jira Software or grant them product access, they will automatically be placed in this group. You can use your own group to provide access to your products. You don't have to use the out-of-the-box groups, but they are provided for your convenience. You can also set up more than one default access group for each product. On the Product Access page, you can also specify which products new users will get access to automatically. Here you can see that new users will have access to Jira Software. When an organization administrator invites users, the users will be added to those products by default, but the administrator can select or deselect products as they wish. There are situations where users are assigned product access automatically. For example, you have a public site where users can enter bugs, or when a user is sent an invite URL. In this example, when users self-sign up, they automatically get access to Jira Software, and they'll be added to the default access group for Jira Software, Jira Software Users Acme USA. On the individual product page, you control which groups have access to the product. You can have multiple groups for a product. Out-of-the-box groups are set up for each product. For example, here you see the Jira Software Users Acme USA and Site Admins groups are set up to provide access to Jira Software. If a user is a member of any one of these groups, they will have access to Jira software. If a user is a member of more than one of those groups, they will only consume one license for that product. You can add and delete groups here, but you can't assign individual users to products. When you invite a user, you assign them a product role. There are two product roles, users and product admin. The user role grants the user access to the product. When a user has this role, they use up a license seat. If you added a user to the Jira Software User product role, they will be added to the Jira Software Users, or whichever group you have set as the default for Jira Software. The product admin role grants the user administrative access to the specified product. One option is to give a user the product admin role for a product, but not the user role. In this scenario, they would not use up a license seat. The user would not access product functionality or create or view issues, but they could administer the product. In order to fully access and administer a product, a user would need to be granted both users and product admin roles. When a user is granted the product admin role for Jira, they are added to the Jira administration product. This is because there is potentially more than one Jira product in a site. If a user is granted Jira product admin, they are administrators of all Jira products. In this example, a user has been granted the Jira software and the Confluence user role and the Jira administration product admin role for the Acme USA site. Users are granted the organization role via their account in the organization's users directory. Users with this role belong to the site admins group and can access all products and their functionality. Be aware of the number of licenses that will be used when granting a user the organization role. This is the most powerful role in the Atlassian cloud context. When we troubleshoot or configure permissions, we must remember that each product comes with unique features that are available only for users with access to that product. Here, Mania uses up a license seat for Jira software. She has access to all Jira software functionality, such as boards and Agile reports, because she is a member of the Jira Software Users Group. Users with access to Jira Work Management can only access the functionality available in business projects. Remember that users with access to Jira Software or Jira Service Management will also have access to Jira Work Management. Users with access to Jira Software will be able to access all functionality available to software projects, like access to Agile boards, the Release Hub, and Agile gadgets and reports. Users with access to Jira Service Management will be able to access all the service management functionality, such as queues, SLAs, dedicated service management reports, and gadgets. In order to understand permissions in general, we also need to understand the different types of administrators and the permissions they are granted. That's what we'll do next. There are 3 levels of administration. The highest level of administrator is the organization administrator. Next is the product administrator. Then finally the user with the lowest level of administration privilege, the project administrator. We'll start with the highest level of administrator. As an organization administrator, you can access your organization at admin.atlassian.com. From here, you can manage very high-level configurations for the whole organization. The organization administration permission is granted to individual users by an organization administrator. They can manage organizational settings, such as changing the organization name. They can also grant and remove the organization permissions to or from other users. Password management and 2-step verification is also available, as is directory management, like domain management and user provisioning. Finally, importing users from G Suite and adding products is something else that can be done. Each organization must have at least one administrator. Users who are organization administrators cannot be managed by a user with lower-level administration access. They are automatically granted other administration-level permissions, like Jira product permissions. The organization administrator can manage users in groups, product access, billing, and product access. There are also administrators of the Jira products. They are users who belong to groups that are granted the administered Jira Global permission. They are only able to administer Jira from the product administration screens. By default, when you first start using your Jira site, the groups granted administered Jira Global permission are the site admins and Jira admins group. Members of the Jira admins group have access to Jira administration only. A user with administered Jira Global Permission can manage global permissions, all company-managed project settings and instance-wide settings, such as downloading backups. And finally, we'll discuss project administrators. In company-managed projects, these are the users granted the Administer Projects project permission. They can add users to project roles, manage versions, components, and add workflow statuses, if the workflows are using a simplified workflow. In team-managed projects, the project administrators are the users who have been granted the administrator role. They can manage all aspects of the project, including adding users to roles, creating custom roles, adding fields, managing workflows, creating and managing issue types, managing project features, automation, and so on. It's important to remember that the two levels of access are distinct. If you have been granted administration access to your Jira site, you can continue to administer the application from application panels. However, you also need to be granted product access to use the functionality associated with Jira software or Jira Service Management. By default, organization administrators have access to all products, but this access might get revoked. Renato, a current administrator of Jira, needs to access Jira Service Management functionality in the IT Support Management project, as he needs to support users in their questions about setting up queues. Mirabel, an org administrator, needs to make some configuration changes in order to give Renato the access that he needs. If you would like to walk through the use case, you can follow it through using the PDF solution guide that we have provided. Sarah is unable to share a dashboard with the support team. Identify the permission change that must be updated from the options shown. A. Update her product access to include Jira software. B. Update her product access to include Jira Service Management. C. Update the support project permissions. Or D. Update the global permissions for your site. The answer is D. Let's go through the options and review why. Product access does not impact a user's ability to share a dashboard, meaning there is no need to update Sarah's product access to include Jira software or Jira Service Management. Project permissions also do not impact a user's ability to share a dashboard. Sarah does, however, need the global permission shared dashboards and filters.